This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
Do they live in the jungle?
We have them here.
Bears.
Bingo. You got it.
Hello, happy peoples. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We haven't gotten any more snow, really. She's still just kind of hanging around. Still have green grass. Why do I always give a weather update? I don't know. Looks like it's been a hot minute since we've talked to you guys. Actually had to break down the entire shop and get everything out of there and move back into the garage, be able to finish it. So that's what we've been kind of working on. So that is actually where my babe is headed to here in just a little bit. He's gonna head that way to go give you guys an update on that whole process, kind of like the plans moving forward. Then something very exciting happened for all Alaskans here yesterday and today is the PFD. When we've talked a little bit about the PFD here on our channel. It's the permanent fund dividend. It is something that happens pretty much every year that I've been here, where you get an allotted amount of money just for living here. And we're gonna kind of talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on how it works, what's the purpose of it, how did it even become a thing here in Alaska. So kind of interesting. But yeah, we're gonna share a little bit about that. All the things me and the kids are doing school right now. I'm gonna package up a few more orders and then I'm gonna head to the post office, make sure those get in the mail to you guys. It is so awesome seeing all of the pieces. I'm getting all the pictures and stuff of everyone wearing their items. I love it when you share. I've been hearing some really, really great feedback. So super, super excited. But yeah, that's what we got kind of going on today. I'm just pretty much working on all things school and then all things Alaskan Apparel, just trying to wrap up things from this last launch. Pretty stinking awesome. So anyway, let's check in on my babe. He's getting ready to head out here in just a little bit and take you guys to the shop and give you an update.
Hello, happy peoples. Out here at the shop here today. Thought I'd give you guys a quick update with what's going on here. We've been able to get all the product out. Actually, there's not much left, to be honest. There's a little bit of Alaskan Apparel product left for like the New Zealand and Australian orders. I apologize, we've not been able to mail to you because they won't let us mail to you. So hopefully that'll change soon, but we moved that back to our house so we can get everything cleaned out of here, and all the mudding and taping is going on. Give you guys a quick update here. Also trying to get the boiler stuff going, guys. It is getting cold, believe it or not. I'm walking on snow, so pretty much I guess the cold's kind of here. I guess it depends on how you define cold. We're hoping here in 3 or 4 days that all the mud and tape will be done. We'll be able to get painted and then to get the finished garage doors dialed in, because believe it or not, it is winter time here in Alaska. Also trying to get the boiler, guys. It's starting to get cold, and let me show you where the whole boiler room situation is. Here's our little mechanical room. Tiny, teeny little mechanical room. We got this little boiler. It's called a Toyo Oil Miser. And here it is, just a little guy. Runs off of fuel oil. We don't have natural gas here. It'd be nice if we did, but we do not. The guy is going to mount here on some cinder blocks. And we've got this lifter pump that's going to go on the wall here to be able to pull our fuel from our fuel lines, because it's supposed to be a gravity fed. Is how these Toyo units work. The race is on to try to get the heat on here, because as soon as all the painting is done, I've got the garage door guy is going to finish up the garage door section, which is going to take our section that we took out for the vent for our temporary heater. So it's kind of a mad dash to be able to get our heat done. So I'm gonna go to town to get some parts real quick for this and see if we can beat the weather. I mean, right now it's not bad, but if it starts getting down to around 20 below, things will change quickly. Hey puppy, hey puppy. The guys are kicking butt, getting stuff done here. What do you think, Mike? Another coat, or are we close here?
We're getting close.
Getting close?
Yeah, we're at the spot over there.
Oh, we're just, so do we need to do another box coat or no?
Yeah.
Oh, done.
We're skim coating, hitting the angle, we're gonna sand.
Okay. Skim coat, so we're like how soon before we can start priming and texture?
Probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. Nice. Awesome. They're on our construction crew and are definitely a blessing. So we see this section of garage door here. That's where our vent for our heater is, so we can't have this temporary heater goes away as soon as our garage door guy gets over here. He's trying to layer all this, make it all work. All the things. Awesome in here. Just got to get part of the weather. You know, there's a lot of new people actually to the channel that this is one question that actually have gotten quite a bit lately, and that is, what does Bert do for work? What does Bert do for a living? So that's a great question. Here in Alaska, a lot of the times when you ask people, so what do you do? And the response is, well, what do you need? A lot of us, we're trained on multiple things because we have to be able to roll with the punches, and there's a lot of times there's limitations on, you know, like what you can get and what contractors you can find, so you learn to kind of do a lot of things yourself. What I do is, the technical answer is I do building automation systems or heating and ventilation controls. And that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people unless you're in the industry, but basically what that means is we're like electricians that hook up all these small wires to be able to make all of the boilers and the air handlers and everything will work. Mechanical people will provide the equipment, the electricians provide the power, and then we're like the in-between people that make it all work for commercial buildings. So, and then what I do in my kind of fun that we've done over the years is we build rental houses, because I kind of enjoy that because it's very simple in comparison to doing HVAC controls. It really is. And I'm gonna go attempt to assist with the boiler here. I think I've only piped 3 boilers myself, but I find that kind of fun. You get to run a torch and make fire and hook pipes together. I hope that makes a little bit of sense for what we do. And then to make it worse is I don't even work in the field very much. A lot of our employees and a lot of our technicians do that. I'm more like the engineer project manager, and I work for the most part right out of my little office trailer that's on my house, so I don't have to leave my house. It allows me to be able to be a little closer to the family for work, and all this happened like pre-COVID. This was already like our plan for being around the family more and at work less before it all happened. So it makes a little bit of sense. That's what I do for a living. I do HVAC controls, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning controls on commercial buildings, and I'm more the project manager and engineer, but stuff like this is fun and I kind of enjoy it. So I'll probably be doing more of this and less of the HVAC controls in the future. Need to head down, get some parts for getting this boiler hooked up, and oh, my wife also said that we had PFDs show up, so permanent fund dividend checks. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later, but again, hope you guys are doing great. Let's get to town, get the parts.
The old packages out. I wanted to share with you. Okay. Normally I am a coffee hut person. Like North Pole has, we have a lot of coffee stands here because we haven't had Starbucks here, and we didn't have it. So we kind of made our own, and we made these little drive-through huts. Anyway, I'm not normally a Starbucks drinker, but for their pumpkin spice things, I really, really enjoy it. And I know that this is pretty universal and you can get it just about anywhere, so I wanted to share with you. Not keto, it is not diet friendly, it is not any of those things, but it is magical. It's Guys walking by me and wondering why I'm talking to my coffee cup. I think I just got whipped cream on my face. It's not whipped cream, it's cold foam. Okay, so it is a venti. I get 2 shots of shaken espresso, 3 pumps white chocolate, 3 pumps pumpkin, and the pumpkin cream cold foam on top. Oh my gosh, guys, when I tell you, it is so stinking good. It is phenomenal. It is amazing. The original recipe, or the original concoction of it, which I found, I think it was like on a reel, it was like a reel on Instagram or something, calls for 3 shots of blonde espresso. And my Starbucks never has blonde espresso. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just do like a 2-shot espresso. Phenomenal. So good, I'm telling you right now. Spice fan. So like I like chai teas, I like spice cake. Like spice cake's like my favorite cake ever. So this is heavenly. So I do indulge sometimes, not super often, but when it's the pumpkin spice, it's like the pumpkin season. It's so good. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you because I know you guys can get it where you're at. But yeah, that's what I get. You gotta go try it. It's phenomenal. Definitely not diet friendly. And you'll be, woo! When I drink this, I'm like, and then the anxiety kicks in and that was a fail. That was a fail and I'm like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So you might get half calf. I mean, if that's a thing, you might get half calf, be advised. Okay, I'm gonna head on back home. I'm gonna pick up the kiddos and we're actually gonna head on into town and go to ballet. Tonight is Audrey's ballet class. So I'm gonna go get all the kiddos, do all the things. And then we'll eventually all meet up back home. That's the goal at the end of the day, is to meet up back home and we'll talk all things PFD. Because it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. See you guys at home.
Oh, hi guys.
Got the kids headed to ballet.
I'm so excited. What? And I literally smell like fresh laundry. So that's like, did mom put me in the washer?
Sure did.
I'm a little too big to put in the washer.
It was a nip and tuck there for a minute. It was just like a, will it get dry before ballet?
Yeah.
I took all my wet clothes out and put in a towel and just her little Leo and called it good. But we're golden. All right, let's head on to ballet.
All right, as per usual, time got away from us. It's almost tomorrow. PFDs. Tell us about PFDs.
Promised.
Yes.
It might be.
Now we've done videos on this before, but like I said, a lot of new people here. Like, what is
And it just happened.
PFD? So the Alaska Permanent Fund Dividend. For those of you that aren't aware, this is the quote-unquote like money that Alaska pays you to live here. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't aware, basically what happened was back in the 70s when the oil pipeline happened, there's this huge influx of oil revenue and monies that come in from taxing all of the oil that came out of Alaska lands. And they're like, what do we do with this money? And believe it or not, there was a time that politicians thought about the people in their state. This might have been just a quick gleaming thing, right? But they invested that money. And right now, the Alaskan Permanent Fund Dividend has roughly, I think it was $58 billion last time I looked, somewhere along those lines. And the interest alone from that money is paid out yearly to Alaska residents. And so like just the interest off the money that was made from oil revenue on Alaska lands. Crazy, huh?
That's pretty awesome.
I was born and raised here, so I have technically gotten, I think, every year. Yeah, every year. I have gotten
As long
the
as your parents have
Alaska
filed.
Permanent Fund. Yeah, as long as you file for it.
Yeah, I didn't miss
when's
it.
the deadline for filing?
I want to say it's sometime in March.
And what are the, yeah, I think you're right. And then what are the qualifications for it?
What I've kind of researched, or like the questions that they ask on the little questionnaire, is basically you have to have been here for an entire year and have the intention to remain as an Alaska resident at least for the foreseeable future. You can't be absent for more than like 90 days throughout an entire year. You can't obtain residency in another state or country. You have to be a U.S. citizen.
Some
like that.
allowances of when you're military, and if they move you around or whatnot.
Yep.
PFD, how much is it this year?
$1,114.00.
And so we get that as well as our kids, every Alaska resident,
Yep.
including the children. Something that has changed probably roughly 5 years ago is they started giving all of the Alaska residents less than the full amount. It's supposed to be like they divide it evenly with how many people are approved and apply. So they started kind of tapping into that. So it's a little bit controversial for some Alaskans. For me, I'm just kind of happy and glad to get it, to be honest. Not necessarily that we deserve it, but it was set up, like I said, decades ago for Alaska residents for that purpose. Growing up, though, something else I find a little bit interesting, maybe you can remember. Growing up, and even actually still right now, there's PFD deals right now. There's PFD, just everything's...
On your furniture, on your appliances, on
We
airfare.
got deals for you. We want your PFD. Yeah, Alaska Airlines, get your PFD special. You got your PFD specials at the jewelry store and at the car lot. I remember growing up, it's interesting how different people are and how they spend their PFD money growing up, because I remember like a family, let's say 6 kids, right, where you have 8 people that had PFDs. Well, they pooled their money and they bought a Suburban so they could have a car that was reliable to be able to drive around in.
My family keep it in a separate account for each kid, so we never touched it. It just went right into our savings account, and we were able to take that money when we left home. So it could go towards a car, it could go towards our wedding.
Super smart. So,
Yeah.
And your money went to our wedding. Kudos to her mom and dad for making that happen, because few people save their PFDs,
Right.
to be honest. Kind of adopted that with our kids, or at least we try as best we can to just save their money for them in the future, for, like you said, weddings and cars and these kind of things. But school. But like in the past, I always remember, okay, like vacations was a big one, right? People would use their PFDs for vacations. A lot of fun things. People tend to send a lot of fun things. Now, I think one thing that's changed when it comes to the PFD is this is what I hear more often than not. Hey, what are you going to spend your PFD money on this year? Well, got to pay property taxes. Or, I'm going to go try to fill up the fuel tank so we can afford to heat the house this winter. Or
Buy some extra firewood.
Or groceries is another big one.
Groceries,
Costco is probably sold out right now. It's PFD
It's
day.
not sold out.
Boom. You know it was hit hard.
Costco. I mean, it might have been hit hard.
It was hit hard.
It might have been hit hard.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed is people kind of went from buying more fun things back in the day that I can remember to now it's more necessities today.
And maybe that's because of the decreased amount.
Biggest year they dispersed $1.3 billion, and what was that PFD?
$2,072.00.
So that was the highest one we've ever received, and maybe that has to...
1982. Wow, it started 1982. It was at $1,000, and then it dropped to $386.15 that next year.
It could be that people are buying less fun things now just because
It's not as much money.
It's not as much money as it
Right.
used to be.
Right.
That could be.
Last year was $992. The year before that, 2019, $1,606. Kind of teeters right in that kind of area there. The lowest one, though, I think is like 1984, $331.29.
You go, PFDs, that's kind of some of the changes that's kind of floated and adjusted over time, but it definitely helps for the high cost of living here. It helps for, fuel costs and heating costs and food costs and
Putting it away for a rainy day.
right.
Tucking it away. You might have snow tires that you need to purchase. Vehicle goes out in the dead
Yeah.
of winter.
It
Just
doesn't
having
go very
backup.
far. It really
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
But it is definitely appreciated. I hope some of that, guys, makes sense. PFDs. These are some of the questions we have, you know, like, oh, you get paid to live in Alaska? How much do you get paid? How does that work? All these things. How do you qualify to get it? So hope that answers some of it.
Some of it.
But yeah.
Leave questions down below if you have any other questions. We'll do our best to address it or try to comment back to you guys.
Or if you're comfortable sharing, maybe like, what do you plan on spending your PFD on this year? Maybe
all the local Alaskans.
Or maybe pretend you are an Alaskan for a second. What would you spend that money on if just put yourself in the Alaskan shoes? What would you spend your money on?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Appreciate it. As you can tell, super late. It's actually exactly midnight.
That it is. That clock's a little fast.
Oh, is it?
I set it a little fast just so I can.
Okay. It's exactly almost midnight. Appreciate you guys coming along and being a part, checking with our family. You guys are awesome. We do appreciate you guys more than you know. All night, huh?
Call it a night.
Boom. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.
Not tomorrow.